and welcome to the 2024 Vanguard Lions baseball season preview. I'm here with head coach Rob Pegg, now in his 12th season with the Lions. He's 34 wins away from 400 for his career, which would be a huge milestone, and I know that is definitely within reach because the Lions have won 119 games over the last 3 seasons, 2 40-win seasons, 35 wins last year. And so, Coach, we are heading into this final year of membership in the GSAC, final year of membership in the NAIA. It's kind of got to be a bittersweet feeling for you, is the fact that you've been both a player and a coach at that level. Next year, heading into NCAA Division II, bigger challenges on the horizon, but again, a bittersweet feeling, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Many great memories in the NAIA as a player, assistant coach, and coach for the last 12 years. A lot of great relationships, rivalries with different schools, and just nationally as well, not just regionally. So that part's fun. And yeah, exciting that we'll be back with the old group, at the D2 level. So yeah, that'll be excited, but bittersweet's the right word. And then just excited about this year. And finishing strong in the NAIA.
Rekindling of rivalries, as you alluded to, going into Division II next year, playing the Biolas of the world and Azusa Pacific and all those folks. Yeah, like all those guys. Yeah, when I was a player in the conference, man, a number of years ago now, it was a 7-team conference, and yeah, I think Concordia, Biola, Azusa, Cal Baptist was even in the conference at that time. They're in Division I now. But yeah, good baseball. A lot of really good players, programs, coaches, all those things. So definitely be exciting, definitely be challenging at every level. But first things first, it's GSAC NAIA in 2024, and this program has made the NAIA postseason 3 straight years. One thing that I don't know if people are aware of, no Vanguard program has made the NAIA tournament 4 consecutive years, and that is possible this year. You bring back a team that has a good mixture of veteran leadership and new talent. What gives you confidence that this team could accomplish a feat that has never occurred in Vanguard baseball history? Yeah,
that's exciting. Until you mentioned that, I really didn't think about that too much. Just kind of take it year by year. But yeah, really good group of guys this year. Anytime you get to that level, and we look over the teams, we've been blessed with very good talent and guys kind of pulling together and pulling the rope in the same direction. That part's been good. This year, a lot of new faces, but some familiar faces that are strong, and they'll help us get on that track. And then just the team being a team, pulling for one another, trusting one another. That's going to be key because, I've looked over the years, it's always been very tight. Comes down to a couple games here and there. The only sure way to get in the postseason is to win the conference tournament, which we've done once, and other years we've gotten in as an at-large because of the strength of our conference and the strength of the schedule. And so, hopefully expecting another strong conference this year, a lot of good teams, and I'm sure we'll have a couple at-larges as well as the conference champion again.
And we look at the different position groups around the roster. I believe 46 guys on the roster right now. Let's start with pitching, because with pitching, if you've got depth at that spot, it allows you to be competitive in any game. It doesn't force or put pressure on the offense to score a ton of runs. And you have those arms. I believe that you have 3 legitimate starters that competed last year, and a pretty solid bullpen as well. So why don't you go into a little depth here about who's coming back?
Yeah, we do like our pitching staff, the returners, and then a number of new guys as well. Dylan McDonald was a conference guy for us last year. Unfortunately, had a little issue towards the end of the year. He's recovered from that, looking strong, so we're excited about what he's going to be able to do this year. Jacob Dahlstrom, again, a very good year for us, and he's going to give us a shot. Jesus Manguia, he's been in the program for 4 years, and various roles on the pitching staff, a great competitor, and he'll give us a shot there. Then you got some veteran lefties, Jackson Weber, graduate students, been here since a redshirt freshman. Always really fun to see his growth, and he's excited for one more run at it. Quincy Vassar, another veteran lefty presence that can be a swingman, start, relief, a lot of different things for us. And so, and yeah, there's a few others that I'm probably missing. Bryce Barnett, he's back for his 3rd year. He's been in the fire too with us, some big battles. So
Jake Heiner, Spencer Edmondson.
yeah, some of the new guys. Jake will be a new guy this year. He was there last year, got a little opportunities. He's really emerged. A newcomer, Spencer Edmondson, really good guy. We're expecting a lot out of him this year. Jay Schuler, transfer guy coming in. Eric Kraus, and yeah, there's some good guys in the mix. So, like you said, you need pitching. You got to give yourself a shot. And I feel with our staff and our depth, it's probably as deep as team as we've had, which is good. And guys operating on kind of full throttle, that'll help us. And we don't think there's a game that's not possible to win just because of that situation.
You talked about McDonald, I believe last year against Westcliff, he struck out 10 guys in a row. And then Dahlstrom came up huge in the NAIA tournament up at Westmont, struck out double-digit guys. So when you have that kind of power on the mound, it's certainly a good feeling.
Yes, yeah, so we'll hope, it's a new year, new adventure, but those guys are kind of tried and true, so expecting good things out of them.
Now let's go to the offense and let's start at the dish. Catcher, you have a 2-3-year guy in Oscar Diaz who has proven himself to be one of the top hitters in the GSAC. It's nice to have a bat like him in the middle of the lineup.
Yes. Yeah, Oscar, great kid, great catcher, great hitter. And so he'll spend time behind the dish, probably spend some time as a DH, maybe even first base. And then two guys that we've added this year as well behind the plate in Tevis Payne and Abe Hernandez, both very capable, can swing the bat as well. They're right-handed, Oscar's left-handed. But really, we have 3 capable guys, so good depth in the catching position as well. Excited about that.
And then in the infield, it's spearheaded by junior Fred Buxton. Fred, in his first year in the program last year, had 9 home runs, lots of big hits throughout the year. He played second base for most of the season. I believe he's moving over to shortstop this year. Then you have a couple of other veterans in Antonio Omfroy and Adam Stevens. Why don't you give us a feel for how the infield's looking right now going into the season?
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned 3 key guys, returners with good experience and can impact the game on both sides of the ball. And Fred, yeah, he'll at this stage he'll spend probably majority of the time at shortstop. We did bring in 2 veteran guys, in Jared Mazzaferro and Steven Casas. Both play the middle infielders, both proven guys. So we have some good depth there, a couple different combinations, so it'll be interesting to see who emerges and what the best combination will be. Also a couple young guys that didn't get a lot of playing time last year that improved, Brennan Wagner, Evan Avidia, those guys will contribute. And I think that's a theme with a lot of our really a theme of the year, is that there's a lot of versatility in this team. Coaching staff and I were joking, we could have 50 games and we could have 50 different lineups out there, and not much separation in those, with the right combinations and matchups and just, who's healthy and things like that. So really feel good about the options.
And it's kind of like, who's the hot hand going to be too,
Yeah.
since you have so many different people you can play in different spots. I think that whole idea applies more so to any position group than maybe the outfield, because you did have 2 guys last year that played a majority of the innings, and Tommy Rodriguez and Dane Nakasuka. They are now graduated, so a lot of playing time available out there. Has anybody taken the bull by the horns in preseason practice to kind of stake their claim to any starting spots, or is it kind of wide open in the outfield?
Yeah, and honestly, there's depth at all the positions. Probably the most depth and challenges in the outfield, to be honest. Couple returners, Corey Jarrell spent some time out there last year. Michael Downton, both good options. So get some opportunities. Some newcomers have come in. Kip Famolaro, really good defensive guy, has improved with the bat. Levi Hall's a newcomer. Nino Vitaggio, newcomer that will have some options in there. And so, yeah, there's probably 7, 8 different combinations that we can run in the outfield as well. So yeah, hot hand, situational. See who's ready, who can step up and be ready for the moment.
You're going to find out real quick how good this team is, at least in the early stages of the season. It's a long season, and a lot of development, a lot of evolving can certainly take place, win or lose in the early going. But the first 8 games, I believe, are against teams that made the NAIA postseason bracket last year. You start with the 3-game set against Antelope Valley, head to Arizona for the Best of the West tournament, play 4 ranked teams out there, and then you've got Lewis Clark State, which is a national perennial contender, coming to Dean Harvey Field.
Yes.
What did you have in mind when you put this schedule together?
Yeah, well, one, just trying to get quality games, which is take care of that and give the guys a good schedule to work with. And then you want to test your guys. And our goals are we have lofty goals. We want to be a championship level team and do it in Lewiston and everything like that. So you got to test yourself early, see where you're at, see what the competitions look like. We were fortunate to be a part of that East-West Challenge last year. It's an invite type thing. And so it was sort of a 2-year deal where last year was in Florida in the East and then this year out in the West in Arizona. Mm-hmm. So a little shorter trip for us. That's a week we'll be out there. So
who do you have in the Best of the West tournament?
Yeah, we open up with Bellevue, who is a perennial. They were in the World Series last year. Then on the next day we play 2 teams from Florida Conference, which is arguably the strongest conference in the country. Ave Maria and St. Thomas, and then we finished with Tennessee Wesleyan that won the World Series, I think 2 or 3 years ago. Yep. So yeah, no easy ones. No easy ones out there.
No easy ones, and then after, I believe, the Lewis Clark State, you play the GSAC opener against the Masters, which is a team receiving votes in the NAIA poll. Of course, this year it's a 7-team GSAC league with playing 6 opponents. That's only 18 games. Obviously, the conference wanted there to be more games than that, so you're playing 2 opponents twice, home and away, and I believe that's Masters and Menlo, right?
Yep. Yeah, so that'll be conferences, tough as always. All games are competitive, 1 through 7. Doesn't matter who you're playing, in the standings. All good teams, all good coaches. They know what they're doing. Guys are going to be prepared to compete, and so it's fun. That's what makes it fun. You can't show up. You show up and go through the motions, and you're going to end up on the short end. But you bring your A game, and that's where we're hoping and thinking that our depth will be to our advantage. That we're not just relying on one guy here and there, and if they get injured, we're in trouble, or they go south. So, yeah, conference be fun, and we'll definitely know where we're at in a couple weeks' time.
And it's really hard to establish a pecking order, isn't it? I mean, I know Vanguard and Hope International, at least preseason, are top 25. Masters and I think Arizona Christian are receiving votes, but you look at the rosters all around the league, and it's like you said, you can't just show up and expect to win. You can easily fall from the preseason favorite to middle of the pack or even bottom of the standings if you're not on your game every day.
Yeah, and that's, historically you look at the standings and then you see teams beat other teams, and it's just weekend to weekend. You try not to have a really bad weekend in a short conference season, just 24 games. You gotta stay in the fight. You can't, and if you can get 3 in a weekend, that's a huge boost for you. Gotta stay, at least 2 and stay ahead and that. But the pecking order, like you said, there's nobody you discount. The teams you mentioned are all up there, all very quality. They'll be fighting, very little separation in years past. And then the Menlo and Ottawa, William Jessup, all good programs, all tough battles as well.
The rule of thumb is try to win every series. If you can come out of it winning 2 out of 3, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah. If that were the case, it would be all right. So.
Now, again, I just want to go back to this being the last year of NAIA. What are some of your favorite moments, either as a player or as a coach, since this is the final hurrah, as it were, for 2024?
Yeah, it's funny when you say the player. NAIA kind of gets that. What's the NAIA? And honestly, I didn't know coming out of junior college. I didn't really know what level I was playing, kind of thing. I knew it wasn't Division I, so I was sort of unfamiliar with that as a player as well. as an assistant coach, our 2002 team got within one game of the World Series. Great group of guys. We had the highest draft pick on that team that had been a part of a fifth rounder, Chad Schaub. And then the 2015 team that did get to the World Series and won a game out there. That was a really good run. That was a fun year because we were actually the last team in the tournament there. I think as at large, we were the very last pick and had to go through a tough bracket and end up just getting hot at the right time, going out there, and then making it through just the COVID years that we had, and that was nice with the NAI. I know the D2 conference in California shut down, so none of those guys played. We were still playing all the time, and a lot of fun there. And so tons of good memories, tons of good rivalries, and fun coaches and programs to coach against. And then I think rule-wise, that's my only, it's the NAI. You got the re-entry and some rules like that. That makes it fun to manage, utilize your roster a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
D2, just straight up, so that part, bittersweet, kind of there.
Especially knowing that you guys are such a great stolen base team and like to, put some pressure on that opposing defense.
Yeah, we had catchers been able to get on base and bring in those courtesy runners and know how to get to second or third.
Well, we hope that a great memory is created this year with, ending up in Lewiston, Idaho for the College World Series. That's the ultimate goal. But first things first, we start with the season opener this Friday at Dean Harvey Field, 2 p.m., the first of 30 home games on the schedule, so lots of opportunity for Blue and Gold Nation to get out there and watch these Lions play. We hope you have a great season, Coach, and thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Mike.